Hi there, Henry from 911 Version, Porsche people in Uxbridge. I know what you're thinking. It doesn't look much like a Porsche. It's not, it's a TVR Griffith 500. I took this in part exchange on one of my personal cars, and so offering it for sale, hopefully quite a good value for money car. Thought I'd do a very quick walk around video just so you can all see what it is, what it's about. 1995, registered in I think February 95, N registration. Quite an interesting ownership history. So it had one owner from February through until November of 1995. It's then had an owner for 21 years, from 1995 to 2016, I think October 2016 from memory. And then another owner in the V5, and I've got it here. As I say, obviously I am a dealer, it's coming as a part exchanger. It's not, I've not owned the vehicle. But before I took it in, I popped it up on the ramp, had a good look around it. And I have to say, was actually quite impressed. Where to start? The car, I think, or I hope anyway, represents a really, really honest car. It's not just been painted. I'm always hesitant to say that old cars have got their original paint on them, but there's sort of the right amount of stone chips and marks and whatever to indicate that, you know, if it turned out to be the original paint, it certainly wouldn't surprise me. And its ownership history, the fact that the guys had it for so long, also makes you kind of think, well, it could well be. Lovely history with the car. I think 21, 22 entries in the service book, mostly with Fernhurst, the specialist TVR guys. And then I've just done a very quick oil service on it. So since I've had it, I've popped it up in the air. It had a leaking sump gasket. I popped a new sump gasket on it. Give it an oil service, bit of Mobil One in there. The rear tyres on the car were quite old. They weren't worn, but they were 2007 tyres. So I've popped a couple of tyres on the back. At the same time, I've had the wheels refurbished. We've got a really good outfit in Uxbridge we use for wheel refurbishing. So I've had the wheels refurbed. Front tyres are good and are 2000 and I'm going to say 16 from memory. Few bits and pieces on the car. It's had a new alarm immobiliser, a new Meta alarm immobiliser fitted to it. As I understand it, and you guys will probably know more than me, the immobilisers from the factory are actually wired the wrong way up. Apparently the sort of high current relay was doing the low current circuit and vice versa, and that was the reason why a lot of them used to struggle to start. Anyway, it's been changed, quite expensive, £630 from memory. It's had remote central locking tied in, and also a little remote for the boot, which is quite interesting. So you can get into the boot remotely, which is quite nice. Spare wheel in there. When you get the car, if you buy it, we've also got some pieces just over there. We've got a new exhaust, the original exhaust header. It's had a replacement. There's an indoor car cover, trickle charger, and a little bag of stuff, belts, whatever else there is in there. Non-power steering car, so you won't have any problems there. And I have to say, you know, having driven it, even moving it around the yard, it's fine. No great problems there. Roof, I suspect, as they all do, pops out, Targa roof. So that lifts off. Roof, some marks in the fabric on the top. You know, it's not brand new, but again, I'm going to use the word honest to describe the car. Electric windows, they're working. The electrics, as far as I can tell, I don't know about the mirrors, but I didn't think the fan, I didn't think you could turn the fan off at one stage, but I discovered if you press the button in, the fan turns off. So every day is a school day. The buttons are rather handily not marked up whatsoever, so you guys will know what all the buttons do. Took me a little while to find out. Engine wise, original Rover V8 500 engine. It's had replacement exhaust headers. As I say, we've got the originals that come with the car. It's also had an induction pipe fitted there, which I think I'm right in saying just helps with the heat, to help the hot starting. It's started every time I've gone to it, so you know, it seems to be okay. I know some of them have a hot starting problem, but as far as I can tell, you know, this one seems to be okay. I've driven it, and I have to say I was really surprised. It is what it is. It's a TVR, essentially a kind of posh kit car, but the great thing is obviously all the components are readily available, and kind of off the shelf, and you know, there's nothing which is difficult. I've bought a couple of parts, as I say, the sump gasket. I think the sump gasket on our trade account from Euro Car Parts cost 80 pence. So not the most expensive part I've ever built, or bought rather. I got a little trim part for underneath the Targa roof it was missing. Again, it was something like £4 a metre. So it's you know, really easy and good to get parts from them. And it drove really well. It's a proper English muscle car. You know, it's got a lovely noise to it. And I was surprised how well it drives. Speaking of the noise, rude not just to fire the old girl up. Obviously 5-speed manual gearbox, a radio cassette straight out of 1995. Go west and bridge over troubled water. We'll throw that in for free, no charge. So you get a take with it. As I say, as far as I'm aware, the electrics I think are pretty much working, as much as I can tell. As I say, I couldn't get the fan to turn off, but when you press the little button in, the fan turns off. We've just sent it away for an MOT, so it's got a fresh MOT on it. You've got height adjustment on the steering wheel there. As I say, you guys will probably sort of know the cars, you know, better than me really, if you're a TVR enthusiast. More than happy to pop it up on the ramp for you. If you're coming to have a look at it, we've got a couple of ramps. We'll stick it up in the air, you can have a good look underneath it. Outriggers, one side of the outriggers was changed by Fernhurst in, I think, 2015. So that's been done. And when I looked underneath, it seemed pretty good. When I drove this the first time, I was really quite surprised in that it's actually quite a kind of smooth car. Obviously, you know, pure raw muscle car, you kind of feel the engine and the old exhaust noise, and you know, it's all a very sensory experience and fun. But you know, it feels light and nimble out on the road, very controllable. Obviously, you've got to be careful. You've got quite a lumpy, powerful engine, and it's a fairly lightweight car, so you know, you can get yourself into difficulty if you are not careful. But yeah, really good bit of kit. As I say, I was pleasantly surprised. I've had a couple of TVRs over the years, and I have to say I was kind of quite impressed with this. You know, when it came in to sort of part exchange against my car. You know, I took it out for a drive and was sort of surprised at how smooth the car is to drive. It's obviously a really big engined kind of British bulldog, a muscle car. But you know, you're underway, steering feels light, nimble, very direct, you can feel the road very, very well. And I can certainly see the appeal, you know, for something that's, well, in relative terms, you know, not fortunes of money. It certainly scratches an itch in terms of having a bit of sort of fair weather, fun, you know, roof down muscle car experience. And let's face it, something which, you know, when you've had your fuss, you're unlikely to lose a lot of money on, which is very, very nice. It's not something you're going to give, you know, 21,000 pounds for, and it's going to sell for 10 when you've had your fuss. It's going to be worth this all its life. You know, it's an entry-level TVR 500, particularly in those stories. It's a good buy for someone.